But it is like being in a relationship that you are not truly happy with, but you have to continue because you don't have a choice. Unless you want a mouse that can vibrate, there is very little reason to spend the extra on MX Master 4 over the 3S. You would expect that after 5 years, the new generation would have some big upgrades, but that is not the case at all, and I think that overall, it is a disappointing update, even if it may remain the best choice for productivity. The price of this mouse is almost 12,000 rupees or over 120 US dollars, and that is just too much for a mouse with a 125Hz polling rate, especially when the 3S is available for a much lower price. So let's see what's the extra stuff that you get. First, let's talk about the vibration motor, because it is something that I don't remember anyone asking for, but it is a bigger feature than I was expecting. You can basically get haptic feedback for different action in apps like Premiere, and Windows has also introduced advanced haptics with Windows 11, so you will get haptic feedback when doing actions like snapping or resizing the windows. It's actually the only mouse for now that has this native support from Windows. There are also many other events that can trigger it. Different apps can add more functionality for the haptic feedback. You can get plugins on its marketplace, and it is already implemented widely. We have never had haptics in non-gaming applications like this, and it just adds a new layer of interaction between your device and your body, and I think that is really cool. This also makes the action ring feature on this mouse feel much better than the MX Master 3, because the vibration just adds the much needed feedback while moving between different options, and you can easily click on items without needing to see where you are. What's not cool is that the MX Master 4 is heavier than the MX Master 3, and while the difference is just 10 grams, you can definitely feel it. With years of innovation with gaming mice, I don't know how they couldn't figure out how to keep its weight the same if not lower it, even with the new vibration motor. But the biggest disappointment with the MX Master 4 is that it remains locked at 125Hz polling rate, and I can't even express how terrible that is in 2026. 144Hz monitors have become quite common now, and this mouse just feels so sluggish and laggy that it almost nullifies the benefit of having a high refresh rate monitor. Even the very cheap copies of the MX Master series have a polling rate of 1000Hz, so I don't know why Logitech couldn't even move to 250Hz if not 500Hz. If they wanted to flex their 70-day battery life, they should have at least given the option of raising the polling rate for people who don't mind charging their mice more often. The argument that it's at 125Hz because it is not a gaming mouse is also very stupid, because everyone needs smooth and precise tracking, not just gamers. So its 8000 dpi sensor is also of no meaningful benefit, because the tracking experience is severely bottlenecked by the abysmal polling rate. It has been more than a decade since the original MX Master was launched, and you are still stuck with the same tracking performance, and I just don't know what else I can say in this matter. This of course cannot be used for any other kind of gaming, even though other productivity mice can be. With this mouse, you will have to keep a separate gaming mouse on your desk. It does work on transparent glass, which is kind of rare in the mouse world. All of that has been very negative, but it's not all bad, because one of the most innovative things that this series has introduced is the action ring, and while it's not that surprising to have shortcuts that can pop up on a screen, it's the integration with different applications that makes it so special. For example, in Premiere, you can color correct using this, and Premiere doesn't even have keyboard shortcuts for lumetri controls, so you need specialized hardware to control it, and that is something that now you can have with the MX Master. There are similarly deep integrations with other apps that are not easy to reach, so if you use one of the supported apps, which includes the whole Adobe suite, it just adds so much value and power that this becomes more than just a mouse. The action ring is also supported on the MX Master 3 and 3S, but you will have to map them on some extra button, while on the MX Master 4 you get a dedicated button for actions ring, and there is also the vibration thing, so the action ring is a feature that is nicer to have on the MX Master 4. Do give this video a thumbs up if you are liking it so far. Logitech software sometimes gets some flack, but it is the best mouse software. You can really assign any function to any button. It offers a lot more than just keyboard shortcuts, and the best feature is that it can switch profiles based on which application is selected, and that is such a critical feature in a productivity mice. It is the reason why we do have some other similar mice from Keychron which are lighter, cheaper, and have a higher polling rate, and yet they are not really a direct replacement for this MX Master 4. We now have one extra button compared to the MX Master 3, so we now have 5 extra buttons that are completely customizable. The whole area for the actions ring acts like a button, so it is very easy to press, and we used to have the gestures button here which was quite difficult to activate in comparison, so this has been a serious upgrade. You will also feel the click with a haptic feedback instead of mechanical movement, and you can also customize the pressure it takes to activate this. The gesture button itself has moved in front of the two extra side buttons, and I have to say that this is not easy to reach, so if you use it for activating gestures, it is kind of difficult to do. A better way would be to map the gesture button to one of the other buttons. The MX Master 4 is a bit bigger and angular than the MX Master 3. For some people with very big hands, the MX Master 4 may fit a bit better, but overall, I think that the MX Master 3 had a better and more palm-friendly shape. The MX Master 4 is just too pointy at its top, and this is something that you will get used to, but ergonomically it is not an upgrade. Despite this change, the MX Master lineup remains the most comfortable mouse shape overall, and in general, the MX Master 4 is still the top choice for long working hours. Once your hand gets used to the angle of the MX Master series, you won't be able to use mice of other shapes. The materials have also been changed from this rubberized surface to plastic, and this is going to age much better than the rubber material on the earlier mice, so that is an improvement. The thumb rest area and right side area is still covered by soft rubber, and we will have to see how well this ages. The clicks are silent, just like the MX Master 3S, and I really like that. My MX Master 3 lasted for 5 years without double clicking, so I also have high hopes for this version. This is also more easy to open and repair just in case you need to do that. The scroll wheel is another one of the features that you can't go back from once you try it. You can of course switch between a free spinning mode and a regular mode, which makes you feel the magnetic steps, and there is also the smart shift mode that shifts the wheel to free spin mode when you flick it. The wheel itself feels almost the same as before, but one new feature is that you can control the strength of the magnetic force when it is in magnetic step scrolling mode. I think that the tech is really cool, even though the default strength setting on the previous versions was perfect. The side scroll wheel is also very helpful, especially for switching between tabs when you are browsing, and you can of course scroll horizontally or use it for any other dedicated features in supported apps. It has been moved a bit to the rear side, which some people didn't like, but I personally find it as easy as before to operate. This comes with just the USB-C bolt adapter in the box, and I think that they really should have included a Type A to C adapter, but it is alright. There is no space to store it on the mouse, but you can just plug it in the front USB-C port now. We also have Bluetooth connectivity, and you can connect this up to 3 devices and switch between them easily with a dedicated button at the bottom. There is also the Logitech Flow function, which lets you use this mouse with multiple computers at the same time, and the people who use this mouse for that purpose really swear by it. The MX Master series had always been the champion for using with multiple devices, and this just does what it used to do earlier. So my overall conclusion is very mixed for the MX Master 4. There have been some interesting upgrades on it, the software upgrades are even bigger, but at its core, the fundamental shortcomings of the MX Master series haven't been addressed. I still think that it remains the best mouse for productivity, but this mouse asks you for top level price while giving you a worse tracking experience than even the cheapest mouse that I have, and that is just not excusable in my books. That is why it is the worst best mouse for me. I am still going to use it for the foreseeable future, but it is like being in a relationship that you are not truly happy with, but you have to continue because you don't have a choice. I'll have the links in the description so you can also reluctantly buy it like me. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you in the next one.